We're just, your regular band grinding and really trying to make some sense.
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Belgian Jasper. If this is your first time in the channel, hit subscribe right now.
Let's just go straight into it. We have lots to cover and not a lot of time. The album opens with Skin of My Teeth, a song that many people will have heard when they listen to this interview. But it is as they say in Dutch, here's a business card to kind of introduce ourselves. It takes some prisoners, it gives you some power, and will also set maybe some people that listen to an album based on label, based on descriptions by labels or PR teams. It'll set them straight a little bit, like, hey, this is the modern sound of Phantom Elite that we should expect. It's almost genty. Was that like a conversation that, like, hey guys, people will categorize us as a symphonic metal band. We're on Frontiers, which is known for certain styles of music. We want to make sure the album opens with a statement. Is that fair?
That's very fair. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the album opener is a big deal. I mean, you have to, in our opinion, you have to start with a bang. Our last album, Titanium, also had a pretty heavy opener. And we were like, you know what? No intros, let this song has kind of an intro vibe to it,
right?
So it just kind of felt right to put that right at the beginning. And it also says, as you said, as a business card, it's a good introduction to our sound. So it's like, don't expect a lot of symphonic elements. I mean, it's heavy, it's modern, it's in your face, but there's some soft parts,
And in all fairness, the more quote-unquote traditional symphonic metal is going through a, let's call it a second wave or a silver era with, older bands doing really well still, like Nightwish and Epica, but all these new bands that are popping up everywhere. So it's not a surprise necessarily that labels want to use that way to describe you, but that's not really fair for you guys, because I think modern metal probably just captures it better. Do you still see that though? Like, I mean, this is obviously not your first album, that you surprise people with once they listen to you?
Yeah. I think people are, I mean, it's not that wrong to say that we're a symphonic band, because we were more, in the symphonic genre before. Yeah, there are elements, of course. And also my vocals, I mean, they're not necessarily your regular modern metal vocals, I do incorporate some grunts, but I still have a very classic way of singing. Not classic in terms of operatic, but like in terms of classic rock or something like that. With, a lot of vibratos and very dramatic vocal lines. So that's just me. So that's an interesting mix. And it's all right if people do see that we also have those elements, but it's also not completely off to start thinking that we are a symphonic band, because our previous album was more symphonic and the first one was pretty much progressive symphonic. So we're just changing it, so it's fine.
Already mentioned, like, sometimes I'm a little bit more, fueled by classic rock or a rock vibe, and maybe just to kind of completely jump straight ahead, maybe no better example on the album than the epic closing song Black Sunrise, which for me at times has like an Alter Bridge vibe to it.
Yes.
And now you can't escape from the unknown.
I think we do have quite some Alter Bridge influences in what we end up writing. Yes, absolutely. Although me personally, I never really listened to them, and it's like, oh, one of my favorite. I do love them though. I'm like, why have I never really listened to them like that,
Yeah.
But yeah, they're great, and it's a great thing to be compared to bands like that, because we also try to incorporate more commercial elements into our song.
For sure.
Which is for us absolutely no problem, you know?
All that I asked for, and now you can't escape.
You know, there is a true variety on this album. There's no doubt about that. Is that in a way also to, I mean, I don't know if that was even included in PR packages. I try to stay away from that because I want to kind of have a conversation about the concept behind the artwork. It for me, like the first thing that I see is like, I don't know, it almost feels like a statue either being exploded or being put back together. Is that a bit of a metaphor of just doing everything differently?
Well, that wasn't really what we thought about, but it fits so very well. The idea of having a statue kind of exploding, that was kind of, you know, like a boss of some sort, because the name of the album is Blue Blood, and that would be sort of a royal, you know, boss of sorts. And then the explosion is just like a modern interpretation of it. This album, it's about a certain fight, you know, it's about, well, rebellion, it's about power play, and it's a lot about that, you know. I don't want to get too political about it, because it wasn't intended to be super political or anything, you know, but it was more intended to be kind of a backstory for the whole album. This whole, you know, power play and classes, and you know, sort of as a sci-fi / fantasy backstory.
Okay. Well, I mean, there is definitely some, I mean, it's interesting because there's a massive juxtaposition here, because there's negativity in the air without a doubt in the lyrics that, you know, just like, you can't escape from the unknown, the end is near, or just, you know, some examples of
the edge is near.
The edge is near. Sorry. But then overall, I would still describe the music, if you just listen to the music, not the lyrics, as quote unquote uplifting music, like to give you energy. And so sometimes it's I find it always sometimes very, very interesting when you've got, and I don't mean that in negative in any way, fun, you know, upbeat music, but then sometimes very serious or not so fun lyrics. And I'm sure that, you know, you must have scratched your head at times when you're playing these songs for a crowd, or when you will be playing these new songs for a crowd, that you see people like having a good time and almost dancing or jumping, but that we're actually talking about something really, really negative. Is that a weird sensation?
Yeah, I totally get what you mean, totally, because for example, Black Sunrise, it's a very uplifting track.
Yes.
And the lyrics are at first very negative. But it's actually also, if you watch the music video, the animated music video we created, it's a little bit of the backstory, you know, and it's actually talking about a new beginning. And that's why I say also on the post-chorus, I say, I've been longing, you know, all this time my soul's been burning for, I think. Confused with my own lyrics without singing them, it's hard. Yeah, but that's the thing. So the person has been wishing a black sunrise, which would be, you know, sort of a black hole that would reset things to a better beginning. So actually, it's not very negative.
Just another specific song I wanted to highlight, Birdcage. I really like that, how it builds up over time and just gets more intense. For me, that really stood out. I know that, I mean, when you are releasing an album, it's not that you just wrote these songs or that you just recorded these songs. That's a process that takes sometimes forever and ever and ever. But
yes,
are you still too closely to this new material, or are you allowing yourself to be a little bit removed, and that you can look back and go like, I really like that one and I want to play that one live? Is there one that sticks out for you?
Like in this album, you'd say like what I really like. Yeah, I think I have distance enough to look back and say which songs I like the most or that stand out. Birdcage is actually one of them.
What is right, I've never known. So
it's very interesting how we wrote it. It just happened. That's a song that just happened. We literally didn't put any, mechanical force into it, because sometimes some songs we have to tweak a lot until things make sense or we're happy with it. And that happened with many songs in this album. And there's no right or wrong, I think it's the kind of magic that happens when things just fall in place correctly from the get-go, So that's what happened with this one. So Max, like we were like, okay, we kind of need a ballad for this album, but we don't want to do your everyday ballad, that's like, it kind of doesn't really suit us,
Right.
So Max had this instrumental idea laying around, and he was like, look, see if you can do anything with this. He was like, I don't know, I'm curious to see what and I also told him, I was like, dude, what do you want me to do with this? This is so weird, it's like, I was like, I can try. And then I sat down with Joeri, and I literally just jammed into the mic. I sat down on the couch, put the mic in front of me, and I just started singing almost exactly what's there.
if one day I break out, will I make it?
We sent it to Max, and he was like, oh, okay, I really wasn't expecting anything like this, but this worked. And that's a song that we literally just tweaked very few things from that demo. What you hear at the on the album as an end result is almost one-to-one what we did at first,
Awesome.
So
awesome.
That's really cool.
We're all trapped in this lavishing cage.
You are, at the same time, much heavier than the average symphonic metal band, but because of some of the new influences, at the same time also a little bit more poppy than them. Absolutely. And so, it will be interesting when you start really promoting this album and you have live shows to see, like, what's that crowd's reaction going to be?
Oh, I have no idea. I have no clue.
Because sometimes you see people that are like, oh, we're too heavy for that crowd, but we're not heavy enough for that crowd. And like, it's is that something that keeps you up at night at all?
We're curious to see how audiences are going to react. But to be honest, I think there is a big market for this, like heavy bands that are super poppy. I mean, that's basically what I really like. There's so many bands like Bring Me the Horizon, Falling in Reverse, Ice Nine Kills that I personally love. And to me, that's exactly what they're doing, Ice Nine Kills is so insane in terms of mixing genres, and they have musical influence, and then they have like deathcore, pure brutality that's even funny, in the same song. But that's that's what we're going for. It's like, it's okay. There's also a big audience that likes this mix, so to speak. So we just gotta find them.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't seem like it seems easy, but it's really not.
I have a sneaking suspicion that you guys are like, well, if we can do this, we can go really here. So are there already like things that you're like, okay, you have a wish list of some more experimentation that you'd like to do on the follow-up?
Absolutely. Yeah. We really need to see how things play out first with this album. But if we're gonna write a next album, then that's for sure gonna be very much, I think we're gonna go more experimental.
Okay.
Maybe more experimental and more poppy, even more extreme. You know, like one of the last songs we wrote for this album was Apex. Actually, it was one of the last ones we finished, and we were like, okay, this has absolutely nothing to do with this album, and we really struggled. We're like, should we keep it in this album? Should we keep it for a next one? And we were like, you know what? Let's just put it there because it just makes sense. It doesn't matter if it's a different song. It doesn't matter, you know.
Yeah.
It makes sense, and that song also triggered us to go even more crazy.
A villain can also have nightmares.
You guys are on Frontiers Records. There's not for you necessarily, but for a lot of bands out there, there's a bit of the Frontiers curse is that most albums by Frontiers are projects really that are put together, you know, very produced, very well thought out, and then often, you know, great results, but they live and die with one record or a couple of records. It's never like a touring band. Let's just assume that that's not the case for you guys.
No.
What can everybody watching this interview, like, what can we expect from your plans for 2023? Like, where are we going to see you play and how often?
All right. So for now, we do have an European tour scheduled starting in a couple weeks, actually. Yeah, so that's going to be, I guess, 20 dates over here, going from Italy through so many countries, Switzerland, a lot of Eastern European countries, Czech Republic, Hungary, Croatia, etc. We're ending in Germany, which is close to home, so I'm happy. It's an easier way back. Yeah, and that's what we have planned for now. A couple festivals that are still not super concrete, so we can't announce anything yet. But yeah, we're definitely trying to work on more shows. Obviously, I mean that's our thing. You know, we are not a project that someone put together. Otherwise, I think we would have way more support. Being very honest, if I may. But that's not the case. So we're just, you know, your regular band grinding and really trying to make some sense, you know.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, let's see you make that sense on stages, as many as you can this year. Well, I mean, with a wonderful release for all the fans in 10 days? Well, enough 8 days from now as we're recording. So that's that's exciting. That's exciting. You seem, for the energy that you bring, you seem too calm right now for being only 8 days away from a release.
Yes, I seem very calm because I think I'm too busy to be nervous. So I'm just trying to juggle, you know, work and album release and tour prep. It's a lot, but I am excited.
Is it you are too busy? Or are you somebody, because that's the energy that I'm getting, somebody that needs to be busy as well, that wants to be working, like would you be in your comfort zone if somebody told you, hey, for the next month, you can just chill at home, don't have to do anything?
Oh, that would be so hard.
Yeah.
That would be very hard. Yes. Right. So yeah, no, I am a person who needs to be busy.
Well, Marina, I thank you for your energy. I really appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time in this busy schedule to answer some of my questions and giving us a bit of a peek behind the scenes. I'm super excited for you to have this new release, which I think in a few years from now, we'll all look back at the defining moment for the band, because I think you guys truly found your own sound now. And it will be exciting to see you translate that to a stage. Marina, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. This was actually a lot of fun.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Look at that.
and I didn't pay you to say that, and we're still recording.
No.
Fantastic.
See? That's nice.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.